All right, Mom. We are like now level 3. We are after the first break. We're just kind of continuing on. So, same strategy. We're wanting to play premium hands. We're not wanting, so I'm poker they call it being a knit. If you were like so tight, like you won't play anything. And for whatever reason, I think it's the gambling mentality. People say it in a derogatory way. You're such a net. Or they call them like old man coffee, OMC, when they are like, if I have good cards, I bet, and if I have bad cards, I check. And so it's like trying to figure out how to be, oh geez, get rid of this. Um, how to be something different than that. Mm, I made myself I made myself an adult drink. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So there's a flush draw. So they would call this, what do they call this? A wet board. So you have a flush draw either from the hearts. Now there's a flush draw possible if somebody has two hearts. So you kind of have to tread lightly on this one. And you also have a straight draw. So if somebody happened to have a 4-5 or a 5-9, then they could have a straight or yeah, 4-5, 4-5, 5-9. Wow, they're gonna just keep going at it. Keep going at it until somebody folds. Yep. Okay. So we've got ace seven. Um, ace seven offsuit. We are in the hijack. So ace seven off is a fold. Ace eight is the lowest that we really want to go down from the hijack. Come on, bro.
Welcome to our resources page.
Nope, we don't need the resources page again.
And taking your game to the next level. We used a solver to arrive at the outputs below. One thing to keep in mind when going through them to dictate when.
And there we can see what's happening then. Sorry, I'm trying to get back to my chart. Okay, so yeah, even from the low jack, we would not want to jump in there. So if we had an ace that was suited, that would be not a problem. But the problem with this one is really that it is unsuited. Okay. That being said, this kind of flop, the 10 queen, you have the potential for a straight draw, right? Ace high straight draw, 10 jack, queen, king, ace. Now we have a potential for if somebody had jack 8, then they would have a potential for a straight draw. So a little bit of a tricky board. On this person, so their voluntary put in pot was 33%. All right, ace 5. Under the gun, middle position. We're in the low jack. It's still a fold. Still a fold. So if you were wanting to get looser, that would be kind of where you would think about it because you have a potential for a straight draw. And then you've got ace high. But because we're looking at longevity, usually when I get closer to the rebuy period, so when I click this little button up here, whoo, buddy, the late registration is for another 2 whole hours. So we've got a whole another 2 hours of this. Um, yeah. So if you play something that's a bounty, so this is a bounty, but the mystery bounty doesn't start until much later in the tournament. And that means anytime that you knock somebody out, you get a prize for doing that. Okay. So again, the same way that I felt about kings, ace king, this is ace king offsuit. I feel like it can go either way. Because if we get a flop that's favorable to us, right? You get ace anywhere, king anywhere, it can be really great. But um, let's see. So this is mildly favorable to us because we actually have a straight draw. We need a jack. But I just did a 25% bet and he shut down. So that was not hard. 7-10 offsuit. I'm gonna fold. Um, wow. Squirrel food has got a VPIP of 6%. Super tight. Slime time, 34%, and he raises at preflop 25%. Uh, Oggs Waldo, whatever that means, is also equally very tight. 10% pre-raise flop, 6%. So very, very rarely raises pre-flop. John Dutton, 22%, pre-flop raises 13%. And this dude with a stupid name, 12%. 28% for JP Gator. Man with an axe is most highly active, 42%. Pre-flop raises 24, and I'm not too far behind. I'm 28%, 12%. So in this tournament, those that are in the money, 395. This is too early to get excited about ranking, but I'm 49 out of 2,500 people. You can look over here, it tells you the blinds, they're 10 minutes long. So that tells you how long before they increase the blinds. Sometimes if you're playing a turbo tournament, like they go faster. They might be 15 minutes or sometimes even 6 minutes. Ugh. All right. So we are in the big blind. And the only way we will play this is if it just checks around to us. And it is not because JP Gator wants to bump it up. But that's, oh my gosh, and John Dutton, 9.36. So we are decidedly in the fold category. Unabashedly. So we can imagine either John Dutton had a hand that needed a lot of protection, twos, threes, fours, fives, sixes, pairs, or um, had a hand, I don't know, ace nines, ace eights, and just really felt like if he jammed it in there, then people will back off, right? Because you're like, oh my gosh, that's like way more than I want to pay. 10-6, so this would normally be a call small blind, but not for 8.6 big blinds. I'm gonna back down. And I am rewarded for my caution. Call me a nit. But John Dutton likes the nines and the tens over here. See what his VPIP. So he's 29% raising it. So ace, queen, king. So the only time I would be like, meow, should have played is if a jack flops down, but then okay, so this is good time to talk about. So jacks. So if I was waiting for that jack, there's only four jacks that I know of. So 4 times 2, there's an 18% chance that that jack would drop, right? So if I was putting in all of that for that, John Dutton is making a claim that he has a straight draw or that he has Jack 10, I mean a flush draw or a Jack 10. Wow, we're gonna find out. Ace Queen. So Squirrel Food just took most of John Dutton's stuff. So in my opinion, he didn't have to go quite so crazy, but he did. So I might take something from John Dutton's playbook and bump us up to 5 or 6. So the blinds are 150. So we're going to see if Ogswaldo is in it, and he is. And we're going to continue to keep betting because we want to represent. And that was good enough to fold him out. So we got his 6 big blinds, our 6 big blinds, and we won a Jack 10 9 board with fives, which is pretty darn good. So you kind of have to overbet if you have a smaller pair. Obviously, that changes. So, okay, we're going to look at this. Close out 10 sixes. We're actually going to call this. So 10-6 suited. But if people get crazy, then we are going to bail. So the way that we think about this in terms of equity, we have 6, 7, 8. We're missing a 9. So we've got a straight draw. There's also a 7 here. And we're going to check because we don't have a ton of equity. But now we have a flush draw and a straight draw. So thinking about our outs, 2, 3, 4. So there's 9 hearts left. And then we have 4 nines. So 9 plus 4, 13 times 2s. So we really only have 26% of equity in this. But I'm still going to bet because I want to charge them for being able to see this flop, or I want to deny them any equity if they're just going to see it for free. So now I have a pair. He's checked. I'm going to go ahead and check because I don't even know if it's strong enough to beat anything, but my 10s beat his 8s. And so that was good, but I didn't know if he had a queens or if he had aces. So I didn't want to like empty the bank for that. So 8-4, where are we at? Under the gun. Hijack, low jack. Low jack. I don't really have to look at this, but this is a fold. Okay. Under the gun. Queen 10 off. We're going to raise it, min raise to 2. We are suited. So Queen 10, raise, call the C bet. So this person raised it to 8 big blinds. And we're going to call it because this is fairly strong. They might have small something. We're going to see. We're going to check and then see if JP Gator keeps coming out swinging. Kind of suspect that they're going to. Queen, 10, ace. We would need a jack, king, four of each, right? So 8 times 4 is 32%. I think I'm going to fold. So 32% that we were going to hit what we needed. There was no hearts there. If it was like heart, 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 it would be a no-brainer, but it's not. Queen 4, we are in middle position. We're going to fold that. So, and the other thing to pay attention to, right, is our stack sizes. So I have it on here, like you can switch it over to that. I like to just see it in big blinds because it makes it simplified for me. I don't get like weirded out by the number. So John Dutton has the smallest stack, and the reason why that's important, 8-5 unsuited, we don't play that under the gun. Is that we can pressure him with our bid size. And so he has to be really, really, really thoughtful about what he's jumping into. These guys, Slime Time, Og Swallowed, Horseman, Man with the Axe, they have the next lowest ones. And then Squirrel Food and myself are kind of equal. And then JP Gator is kind of middling stack. So this is kind of where as you have a larger stack, you can put pressure and you can open wider, right? Because it doesn't hurt you as much to lose. You still don't want to like get overly emotional and get carried away with your bidding because the adage is if you have a chip in a chair, then you're still in the game. So it's better to make a heroic fold than it is to just bleed yourself out. So 3-9 in the big blind. Like we said, you can literally open just about anything. 3-9 is not worth it for 7.5 big blinds. So we are stepping out of this dogfight. Pair of tens in the small blind. So pair of tens. Tens can be a little bit tricky, right? So this is a jamming kind of stack. But because I have 228 big blinds, I really don't want to jam it that bad. So tens can be beaten by jacks, by queens, by kings, by aces. So there's an argument for not wanting to see the flop. So I'm going to make it 7.5. Because John Dutton's only got 2, and I want him to think about whether or not he wants to be part of this. Because I would rather win his and the other. But the other thing is, I'm okay to get into it with him because the worst I'm going to lose is 13. So I probably could have made it a little bit smaller, but I'm actually okay to win my tens that way. I just don't want to lose with my tens, right? I don't want to lose that equity that I got this great hand. And see, now John is like, oh my gosh, I got to like shove all in because I had this great hand last time that I was going to win on, and she didn't give me a chance. So, fold. See, and he just picked up 2 big blinds. Profitable day, John Dutton. Queen 9. Okay, so we are the one behind the button, so we are in the closeout. So this is where we can be quite wide, but we don't actually have to worry about being too wide because we've got queen nines. So queen 9 suited hearts. So I feel like queens were where I had to learn, like feel more comfortable because I felt really nervous with the kings and the aces above me, and I still do. Like, you still have to kind of tread cautiously because, like, exactly this. So I've got a pair of nines, but like, if John Dutton or Horseman have got that, um, and I'm gonna call, and Horseman got out. So the worst right now that I can lose is 10 big blinds. So we're going to see if John Dutton goes all in just like I thought he might. We're going to do it. We might chip him up. And he had nothing. So he had nothing, hoping to, like, I don't know what he was hoping, but he hoped wrong. Um all right, we are now not close out. Hijack. So they say you should not play this hand. And I'm gonna raise by min as long as this guy doesn't go crazy. I'm doing it. And we're gonna see it. And I won it all with a 2.5 minimum raise. They say for this position to the minimum would be king 10 off. Okay. Um, Jack 8, I will follow the rules this time. Jack 8 unsuited. If it was suited, then it would be like game on. Jack 8 offsuit, even though you can have a straight draw, but you're putting all your money on that straight draw. So, and it's worth noticing that we've had, they call it an orbit. We've had a couple orbits now. I'm gonna fold where it's and not obviously not this time because I just said it out loud. Where it was folding all the way to the button or like folding to whatever the minimum rate is. So sometimes it's like you get these super hyper aggressive people at your table and they're like raising it by these like ginormous amounts. And you don't necessarily have to do that. Like you need to like have some sort of aggression, but it doesn't have to be over the top. 410 unsuited, no thought about this, folding it. Um, but but yeah. Um, but thinking about a minimum raise is two, especially if like you're I think I sent you that other range site that like if you have 20 big blinds to 30 big blinds, like 2 to 2.5 is kind of where I live. If I have 30 to 50 big blinds and I have a good hand, I'll raise it by 3. And I'm not actually following that very accurately right now because I've got 202 big blinds. I just am also aware that I've got 2 hours left before late registration closes. And the reason why that's important is that once late registration closes, then when people are eliminated, they can no longer buy back in. So right now, people can buy in up to, I think, 11 times. And so, I want to build a big stack and I want to um give myself the best opportunity. Okay, so this is a bizarre one. We've got 2-4 unsuited. We're gonna check it. Um, and this is gonna be a funny one because we've got ace 2-4. So actually we're gonna bet into this because we need a 5. So there's 4 5s left and we actually need um one more diamond. And so we just won that hand with a 2-4. But so we had 9 diamonds and 4 5s. So there was 14. So we had a 28% chance of making our hand. But because there were 3 diamonds on there, by bidding, I think I bid 50% of the pot each time. And there's a nice little button that says 50%. It was enough to scare people off. Okay, so we're in the small blind. So we open very wide. So 10-7 offsuit. Oh, snap. Actually, in theory, like 10. So I'm actually gonna fold this because eight big blinds. I don't know. I don't know that that's worth it to me. Let's see. 7, 8, 9. If it drops a jack, I'll be what I am, but he's going all in because he's like that. So I'm glad I was not in that pot. Made that decision easier. 2, 9, equally a horrible hand. So I feel like in the progression of learning the game, I felt really good holding on to, and especially in live play, like that top 10% of hands. And then, and like, and I'm, whatever. I think that actually helped me to go farther by sticking to it. Like the times that I've really stuck to it, um, that's actually been really, really helpful. 3, 6 suited. Now, I know you might think I'm crazy here, but I'm gonna fold it. I'm gonna fold it. But 3, 6 suited actually is a fun hand to play because the times that it does flop like two pair, a threes and six, or even like right now where you have a flush draw, obviously like you can totally get beaten out by folks that have higher flush draws or whatever, but like you have a straight draw and a flush draw, and um it can be fun and tricky. So, but again, I'm glad I'm not in this dogfight. So yeah, but I think what I was saying is like holding on to the top 10% of hands was helpful while I was figuring out all of the other things of being at a table, and just even like thinking about table presence or how to hold my composure when thinking about it. Because like you watch people at the table and they're like wearing everything on their face. Like I was playing next to a lady yesterday and she's just like doing all sorts of grimacing and thinking hard, and it was like, do you not know how much you're contorting your face? But yeah, so I think I think there's a lot to like take in at the table, and kind of sticking to being able to like think through, like right now, if I was playing to go, okay, I've got an eight, a pair of eights. Now I've got a three of a kind. I like that. But he's betting two big blinds when there's 18 big blinds. So he bet a ninth of the pot. Do I believe that he has eights? Absolutely not. They're just trying to see who's going to outlast the other. I don't even know if my man in the axe got rid of it because, like, Horseman didn't have it. So it's like the sizing of our bet should indicate either strength or the bluff. We should not play this. I want to play it, but I should not play that. So yeah, so you're kind of paying attention to the sizing, and it's like you can kind of gather like, do they just not know what they're doing, or are they just trying to like outlast somebody? So the other interesting thing is now we're getting man with an axe has less than 50 big blinds. Horseman's got 63. Groot, who just joined our table a little while ago, but he has a VPIP of 50%. So he's playing 50% of the hands, and he's raising preflop 20% of the time. So he's bleeding chips. Um, but when we are flopping, if I'm looking at this, I've got the second best pair at this point. Oh, he just flopped his straight. Wow. Groot will not be long for this world. Queen 2 unsuited. That is strongly in the fold category. I really would like the late registration to speed up. Henry told me that you need to think long and hard about your screen name. So the kids helped me with mine. So because with my breathing, um, we used to joke that I was Darth Vader because I was such a like heavy breather. And so they said I needed a name with strength, so it was Darth Chip Slayer. And I kind of regret that one, but I play around with the avatar. Sometimes I just change it up because I'm like, do people, like, is JP Gator really a woman, or is JP Gator just trying to get people to think that they, I don't know, are a woman and whatever that implies. So it's just kind of funny. 6'5". 5'10" unsuited. Fold that in a heartbeat. So this position, small blind, big blind, under the gun. So I raise and under the gun just to, fours, fives, six, sevens, eights, nines, tens, jacks, queens. We might play tens, 10-9 suited, 10-8 suited, jack 10 suited, jack 9 suited, queen 9, queen tens, queen jacks all suited, and then kings down to king 8 suited, maybe king 6 suited, and then all of the aces. We'll play the offsuit aces down to ace 10, offsuit kings down to king 10, but we don't play anything lower than queen, queen offsuit. All right, so it's getting real. We've got aces against queen 7, and it is not a hard fight at all. So three of a kind beats Groot. And then we've got random person. So now we are in the big blind and we have king 6 suited. So we will play 2.2. So we're going to see whether Chocolate 28% VPIP, relatively tight, but they're coming out of the gates. 6.4 big blinds. So let's see what they got. Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan. I'm going to throw it in because I would like to represent my ace. And everybody evidently's got aces. All got aces. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna see if they've got double barreling. So double barreling is when they bet the first time, bet the second time. They do not. So there is not a straight draw. There's no flush draw. And I'm gonna check because if somebody has an ace, I've got the second best. But if somebody has a king, so they've got the ace. So I just didn't want to put any more money into that. Jack 7 suited again for the small blind. This is totally playable. So, and Chocobite and Gator are back in it again. So Gator had a legit hand. They had like 10-8 or something stupid. So they are either like polarizing, or they're raising their weak hands and their strong hands, or they're kamikaze. And I'm going to check this time. Even though I've got a flush draw, I'm going to see, but they're just bidding a third of a pot, and I can get on board with that. But I'm also going to bid pretending like I've got a queen. Let's see if Chocobite's in. Chocobite's just in it for the goods. And now I'm gonna check. See if Chocobite. Let's see. They've got a king. So JP Gator has been strong out of the gates. Okay. So let's look at this. Close out. Ace eight off. According to our handy dandy chart, says raise, fold. Okay, so we're gonna call. We're gonna see if Slime Time or if anybody else raises us above that. We're gonna get in on this. Hmm. See, JP Gator, are you gonna go crazy? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got a straight draw, but it's not strong enough for us to bet heavily into it. So I'm gonna check. Oh, so either I'm guessing that he has two hearts or connected with one of the. I think I'm just getting out. Gonna get out. Get out of the way. Because even though I have a straight draw, right? I need fives, I need nines. So four of each. And then I also needed 10. So 18. I mean, so it's like my options are not horrible. 18, so 36%, but it's really not that great. Jack 5 offsuit strongfold. Are we at late registration ending yet? No. So cut out Jack 6s at this position is the lowest that they say. So there's a straight draw on the board, right? There's also a flush draw. And now there's potential for either a full house, a three of a kind, or two pair, right? So if I had stayed in, I have two pair, but if somebody had sixes, somebody has the other seven. Come on, Chocobite. Let's do this. Kind of want that. Yes, they called. Now we can see what they have. What kind of trash do you have? Okay, Chocobite had nines and they had ace 10. So they were banking on their ace 10 working again. Did not. Okay, so this is actually a decision point. Nope, that's really not. So we are in the hijack. Hijack, yep. So 9-5. The only time that we're really playing 9-5 is in the small blind. 9-5 suited. Even 9-5 off suited, you can play in the small blind or big blind. They call that one the Dolly Parton, if you haven't heard that already. So, and squirrel food is going up big, though we would not have been that bad off, right? So we needed sixes. So four sixes or 10 clubs. So 4 plus 10, so we had a 28%. The other outs that we would have had are three nines, three fives, so six plus, so 20 times 9. Am I right? So actually, yeah, we wouldn't have been that far bad off. But, all right, 8-4, this is not a hard decision. We're going to fold it. I find that especially, well, I was going to say in the beginning, but I'm still in the beginning. that when I try to widen too much, that's when I get in trouble. So, so then I like find myself in pots where I'm just like, they call it out of position, right? So you are in the best position when you're in the dealer spot, when you're in the cutoff, hijack or low jack. Those are the best positions if you're going to make a move on something because these guys all have to act first. Small blind, big blind, under the gun plus one, low jack, hijack. Yeah, so low jack, hijack, cutoff, all of that. Like if I was like, I'm gonna just run this crazy bluff with a 210, then I've got to like bank that these people didn't wake up with kings or aces or just about anything other than what I have, right? But if I'm in this position where I've gotten to watch everybody make a decision, I can I can make a crazy move. So that's why when you're in the small blind or in the big blind and you look at the charts that say what's, free to play, it's pretty wide open. Like there's very few hands that they're like, yeah, don't play that. And that's why we call it the big blind special or the small blind special. Yeah. Pardon me. That's a board. Two, three, four. So if somebody has a 5, 6, pair of sixes right there, ace, jack. Yeah, there's nothing exciting. It's kind of what my hand whenever I have ace, jack. It's some kind of trash like that. Ay, ay, ay. Squirrel food. Poker Yoda. Poker Yoda. 26% VPIP. 19% preflop raise. JP Gator, 32%. Man with an axe, 33%. Oh, okay. I am 29% with a 12% V pit or a voluntary put in. Squirrel food is only 12%. So yeah. Slime time, 26%. 11%. And Chocobite. Chocobite is like 33%. So yeah. So one tactic for if you are wanting to steal the blinds and you're in the small blind, you might raise it to 2. Slime Time might be doing this right this moment. That you raise it to 2 because if we have trash, we are likely to fold it. And I think I might just donate that one big blind because 2-3 is not worth it. And so that's kind of what sometimes the cutoff will do is that they will bank that you are not going to want to play that. Less likely that these under the gun people are like trying to steal it because they've got to wait for all of these people to bet. And if somebody raises it and they don't really didn't have anything, they don't want to donate it. So man with an axe is like, oh no, you don't. And then they get trash on the flop. So wow. Okay. That's unfortunate. Man with an axe just got the axe. So sometimes I sit there and watch that and I'm like, there were other ways that you could have played that, but you didn't. But he just bought right back in. There you go. 3, 7 on the button. Does not matter that we are on the button. We are still not playing them. But I would really love to get some good cards right about now. Playable cards. Can just anything on anything that is on the chart. It says, yes, Heidi, green light, go. Woo! Okay, I asked for it. Ask and you shall receive. We are on the button. We have got ace, king, offsuit. So, like I said, I don't always get excited when I get ace, king, ace, queen, ace, jack, ace, 10, because you can get a crappy flop, or people can get trips, or a full house, or something. And so you just kind of have to be ready for that. So this person raised to 8.5 from my 2.5. Half expecting them to jam on me. And this is an example when it just has not gone my way. But they had Jack 9, and I have no idea why they were being hyper aggressive with Jack 9. But they were. So we are in, where are we at now? We are in the hijack and we've got 9s. Okay. We're going to raise it to 4. We normally raise by 2.5. So JP Gator again is raising to 12. So maybe they have aces this time. I don't really know. I'm really going to hope we get a 9 on the flop. But you know what? We're going to bet 9 into this because we want to represent. And they're saying that they are all in. I'm going to gamble on it. Dang it. And I probably should have listened to them, but that's okay. So I'm out 30. I'm still at 100 big blinds. That was not fortunate, but they also just jammed with Jack 9 a little bit ago. So I don't totally know if they're credible. So I probably should have believed them. So sometimes I make bad calls. It happens. But yeah. So when I'm looking at my chart for where I was at, 9 9s are a raise call, but not 10s, jacks, queens, kings, and aces would be a raise jam. So I should not have jammed, but thankfully I didn't jam anything too above and beyond. But nine nines again. Oh, but see, they got the 9 on the river. That's what I was needing. I was needing some of that love. Jack King. Oh, buddy. All right. We're gonna see if JP Gator comes after me again. Nope. They folded. Jack King offsuit. And Poker Yoda's raised it. And Jack King offsuit. It says to raise. So we're gonna do it. I'm gonna check this to demonstrate weakness and see what Poker Yoda does. Go ahead and check again. If he has aces, I would have expected him to be coming out swinging a little bit more. So there's no flush, there's no straight. I'm gonna go all in. Might regret it in just about a second. He will either not believe me because I checked back the flop. But part of the reason why I did that is that I didn't want to advertise that I had a good hand. And 2-3, I'm still not playing that. Okay. Made it to the next break. We lived for another day. All right.